Today, between the country's metros, you will be able to fly. The Civil Aviation Ministry has kept a range in which flight tickets are to be priced so that this doesn't become prohibitively expensive and yet at the same time isn't so competitive that the airlines end up bleeding. In just a moment from now, we'll go across to doctors, airline manufacturers, airline companies to try and understand whether it is safe for you to be flying. Is it what? Even if you need to go somewhere, is this a good time to be booking a ticket? Should you be on that flight? That's the question I'll look at tonight. Here's a look at our lead story.
Months after being grounded, India's domestic airlines are all set to take flight. But flying during the coronavirus contagion won't be the same. Only 33% of the total domestic flights will be operational. Ministry of Civil Aviation has come out with an exhaustive list of passenger protocols. Here's what will be the new normal in flying. Firstly, only web check-ins will be allowed. Passengers will be required to print their own boarding passes. At the airport, one will have to print and attach baggage tags too. Only one check-in and one hand baggage is allowed for now. Downloading the Arogya Setu app is mandatory if you want to fly, as is wearing a mask. You will have to arrive at the airport 2 hours before departure, but those from containment zones will not be allowed to fly.
Passengers will be required to wear protective gear, face mask, and to carry sanitizer bottles. Airlines shall not provide meal services on board. Water bottles will be made available in the gallery area or on the seats.
Airports across the country are preparing for operations to resume. From the airport to the plane, most protocols will be contactless.
On the flight itself, the minister has made it absolutely clear. On the aircraft itself, the middle seats will not be left vacant because that's not economically viable, but everything will be done in order to ensure that there is minimum interface between passengers in the aisles and of course around the washrooms as well. There is not much queuing up.
Contact ना हो लोगों से, उसके लिए यहाँ पे देखिए वेब कैम लगा दिया गया है. ये वेब कैम लगाया है और यहाँ पर आपको अपना जो टिकट हो या फिर आपका आई कार्ड है उसको यहाँ पर आपको दिखाएंगे.
Flight bookings are now open and to prevent a surge in ticket prices, fares will be regulated.
If we take Delhi Mumbai, now this is the densest route we have in the country. Now if we just say lower is 3.5 and upper is 10,000, it may create a problem that they may sell the entire thing at the highest fare also. So we are putting a second rider. The second rider is, and that's the most important part of is, that 40% of the seats have to be sold at a fare less than the midpoint of the band.
After being locked down for over 50 days, you can finally spread your wings and fly. So fasten your seat belts and have a safe flight. Bureau Report, India Today.
So the skies are opening up, but should you be boarding a flight? Joining me for perspective on this very important conversation, we've got Ajay Singh, he's the Chairman and Managing Director of SpiceJet. We've got Salil Gupte, he's the President of Boeing India. And the gentleman in the right corner is here today in his capacity as a pilot. He's been Civil Aviation Minister, Lok Sabha Member of Parliament, spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, but we invited him not as a politician but as a qualified pilot. Mr. Rudy, welcome. We also have with us Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, one of India's well-known doctors, for a medical perspective on this. Ajay Singh, I come to you first. Explain to our viewers who will be paranoid and petrified about the idea of getting on a SpiceJet flight or any other flight for that matter, why you believe starting Monday it's safe for us to be boarding your flight.
Well, Rahul, I think there is very little doubt that aircraft and aircraft cabins are the safest spaces to be in if you compare this with any other mode of public transport. The reason for that is that within an aircraft cabin, the air circulates from the top to the bottom, goes out through the bottom through vents, and is cleaned through HEPA filters, which take away the bacteria and viruses before the air is sent back into the cabin. There is no other public transport cabin which actually does that. Think of going in trains or in buses or in metros. It just doesn't happen. Secondly, I think the ministry has come up with this SOP, which is for contactless travel, where the check-ins are through the web, so you're never lining up in front of a check-in counter. The baggage drop ensures that, again, there is no crowd over there. The way the security check is being done, the way that temperatures are, the temperature is being scanned on 2 occasions. I think it's designed to be as safe as is possible. Of course, I mean, a lockdown is the safest. But if you need to travel, there is no safer way to do it than through an aircraft.
Mr. Rajiv Rudy, there are 2 kinds of people who will be mulling the need to travel. The first type, like my brother and his wife, are here from the United States. They've been stuck through the period of the lockdown. They need to get back home. They've got jobs, they've got dogs, they've got family waiting back home. They really need to get back home. So they will make that flight. There are others who are thinking, okay, is it a good idea to go on a holiday? Schools are shut in any case. What's your sense, as somebody who's been civil aviation minister, understands the ins and outs of the aviation sector, is it worth getting on that flight, or is it just better to be sitting at home?
Well, it's a day to cheer for those 140 million passengers who would have an opportunity to get back on the flight. And a person like me who has been dying to fly, and of course that's another part of my profession, it's a very happy day, and I must thank the government of having taken decision. You see, I personally feel that there are many categories of people, there are not few. And the biggest challenge for us today, as Ajay was telling, is to make them feel comfortable, and that would be the responsibility of the airlines, the ministry, the crew, the people at the gates, and so forth and so on. The idea is, I'm aware, and we are all aware, that we thought shutdown, pandemic, social distancing, all these factors are weighing very heavily on our mind. But nonetheless, there is a necessity to travel. People who have been stranded for a long time, they would like to take a risk. And there is an advisory that elderly and the youngsters should not go. There are limitations imposed. But I'm sure in a very short while, this resumption of normalcy, and as the Prime Minister said, we have to live with the corona, fight it out, nudge back the economy and be normal. So precautions, yes, there will be a lot of precautions. Steps, of course, there would be inconvenience, and for many it would be a matter of inconvenience, but it's all for the safety. But at the end of the day, the airlines would make an effort, the government would make an effort to make it more streamlined. As far as the technicality, what Ajay said is perfect. The air conditioning or the pressurization which is there in the aircraft is of an extraordinary category, which he said is very sterile. So the choice would be there, and I'm sure always said that it is the safest mode of travel. Now we talked in terms of accidents, now we'll talk in terms of medical safety, which is there in the airlines. So I'm sure it's going to kickstart. A lot of damage has been done to the industry. About 29 lakhs are in distress. The airlines themselves are in a lot of distress, but I'm sure they'll have the buoyancy to come back, and there are flyers, and flying is a part of life almost a little bit in everyone. So nothing to get disappointed. Let's gear up and brace ourselves for the flights from 25th. I have got my uniform ironed and kept it in proper form to start this.
Nice. Now, for pilots, for crews and for managements to want to get back into the sky, Dr. Bagai, is only natural. But there are those who have the option. They can take that flight, and they can do without taking that flight as well. Ajay Singh would have us believe it's perfectly safe to be flying. Is that your medical view as well? Or if you can avoid a flight, just stay at home?
Good evening, everyone. And I have 3 aviation experts on panel, so hello to all of you all and all the viewers. I think we may look back in putting ourselves in 2030 and say that in 2019, shaking hands was such a no-no. So I think everything has changed, and everything will continue to evolve and change. I think flying with precaution would be safe.
When I say precaution, I think everything has been mentioned with regards to the masks and the social distancing, but social distancing now has to transform into social responsibility. I think keeping the distance of 6 feet, not overcrowding, wearing a mask, and I saw the press conference. The only one suggestion
you can't have a distance of 6 feet in a flight. There was a proposal to keep the middle seat empty that the airlines fought back on. So there is no social distancing. You've got a mask on, but that mask is not fail-proof. You're sitting next to someone who could be an asymptomatic carrier. Is it worth taking that risk, Dr. Bagai?
Yeah, like I said, if you wear a mask, the risk of transmission even from an asymptomatic carrier to a healthy person is less than 2%. So if you take the required precautions, it should be okay to fly. Keeping the hand hygiene is extremely important. The only one suggestion I'd like to make is that the masks themselves sometimes are a carrier of a risk of infection. So if you're bringing a mask from home, it's not exactly sterile. So I would really like it if the mask is available as a fresh mask to buy it at the airport. It just costs 10 rupees, 12 rupees a surgical mask, and then wear that. But it should be okay to fly.
Dr. Bagai, actually, the airlines themselves will be providing a sterile mask to everybody. Not only are we providing a mask, we will also be providing a face shield. So there is a second layer of protection that we will be providing, and we will also be providing this sanitizing fluid to everybody. That's a package which we will get.
But Ajay Singh, what about asymptomatic carriers? As a lot of migrants in trains, in buses, head back to their villages, when they land at the districts and they are tested, they're turning out to be COVID positive. They're not showing any symptoms, but they are coronavirus positive at that time, which means potentially I could be on one of your flights sitting next to somebody who doesn't know it, isn't wanting to be a spreader, but could be carrying that virus with him at that time. That's a risk I'll have to run if I'm flying with you.
So you know, that's a risk you run anywhere in this world, Rahul. And what you can do, what we can do is to ensure that the potential carrier of the disease as well as the recipient both have face masks on and also are wearing their face shield. If we can do both these things, the chances of transmission and receiving an infection are really negligible. So is it as safe as being in a lockdown and sitting at home? Of course not. But if you need to travel, there is no safer way to do it than through an airplane. Your reporter was just saying that that middle seat was not left vacant for economical reasons. That is true. But also, I mean, just think about it. The distance between the window seat and the aisle seat is 17 inches. So there was no there was no medical purpose being served by keeping that seat vacant.
No, at least it's psychological that the next guy is next to you, rather than breathing out virtually into your ear.
Well, in that case, Rahul, you can buy a second seat and keep it vacant.
Ajay Singh saying, okay, how do I sell 2 seats instead of 1 to the same guy? Okay, I want to go across to the president of Boeing India, Salil Gupte. Have airline manufacturers done anything at all to enhance safety measures, or you're pretty much where you were and there'll just be some decontamination happening and that's the only added security? What all have you done to make our lives and our flights safer?
Well, there's a lot of work and research, Rahul, that's going on right now to ensure that we have a clean, safe environment in airplanes in the near term and then also in the long term. So in the near term, all of the research around sanitization, the various disinfectants that can be used on the airplane, there's dozens of them. Boeing worked with our airline partners and regulatory authorities to narrow those down to 7 that are very effective and should be used on airplanes. Additionally, we're doing research on ensuring that we have new technologies to provide more permanent coatings perhaps to airlines, to airplanes, and the surfaces that people touch every time they're on an airplane. And then also studying antimicrobial surfaces that can go onto airplanes in the future as well. So there's quite a bit of research that's being done around that. As it stands today, everything that we do has to be focused around making sure people feel safe when they get on that airplane. And so that means doing quite a bit of education about how that airflow that was mentioned by both Ajay and the minister how that works. Airflow goes from top to bottom, and the air is refreshed in a cabin every 2 to 3 minutes. And that's why what Ajay was noting is absolutely true, that it is the safest way to travel.
Ajay Singh, what's the quantum of loss your airline has suffered because of the lockdown? The Indian aviation sector has suffered because of the lockdown. There's been a lot of talk about many airlines having to shut shop because of the fact that the passenger load factor, at least initially, will not be very high, and you won't have much, you won't be able to operationally be profitable. Is that correct?
What's happening? Password is feed.
Well, Rahul, I think that in fact the passenger load factor when we start is actually going to be extremely high because there are lots of people who are trying to get back home, etc. And as you know, the supply is constrained. The government has only allowed airlines to fly 33% of their summer schedules. So supply is constrained. The demand is going to be pretty high, and therefore load factors are going to be high. You'll also be surprised, Rahul, that the number of queries that we are getting now on our websites for vacation destinations. I mean, we found we were really surprised ourselves to see that people seem to be just itching to go, not just for essential travel, just get back home and stuff like that, but actually to go for a vacation. So we have to see how things pan out, and the price.
But right now the flights are only from and to metros, right? So if I want to go off somewhere for a holiday with my family, I really can't do that just at this moment.
No, you can. You actually can, because the flights are not only metro to metro. The flights are metro to metro, metro to non-metro, non-metro to non-metro. So the entire network has been opened. Just that the frequencies will be less, 33% of frequencies everywhere, but all the flights are open. And so, yes, you can go for a vacation, Rahul, if you want, starting Monday.
Now he's tempting us, Mr. Rudy. He's saying if you've been locked in at home, take that one flight, go wherever it is that you want. You want to go to the hills, you want to go to Goa, you want to go to Europe, you want to go to Australia, go wherever you want, and then park yourselves there and then come back on one of our flights. That's the bait he's holding out.
You see, my daughter has been, Rahul, I think this would be one of the most watched shows today in the country, what you're doing, because anxious eyes are on to you to hear what is going to happen in a flight. And my daughter has been asking, Dad, can we go on 25th and things like that. And that would be true in many families, irrespective of the threat which we have been talking about. Now, let's come to a small figure. We have got about 673 aircrafts, third largest airlines in the world, and almost we were doing very well. But a fumigation would be a challenge, and right at the airport. So the airport operators, the airports have to do wonderful, the aircrafts, the engineers, the technicians all have to get together. You say the risk is zero. The risk will never be zero. It would be reduced, and that aspect has been discussed. Now, a very important thing, and I'm requesting all of us that we should get out of that fear programming, and that is very essential, not only for the aviation sector. We have to take due precautions. All is there. We have to live with it till the vaccine comes in. But we have to get out of this fear programming. And the day the resumption of flights takes place, I think a lot of normalcy would be restored. And the very fact that the third seat in the middle was not, because even if the second seat or the middle seat was vacant, the person would be crossing each other. So restraints have been said that use the toilet less, no food served, there would be a bottle of water and things like that. So what I wanted to say, it's a challenge indeed, and for the airports, and you just imagine the doctors who had been looking at the COVID patients all throughout, and they were the nearest people to the contaminated people whom we are talking about. So the crew, the flight crew, and these youngsters who are 20, 21, 22, and the elder ones also, they are going to face the highest risk, because every shift, every trip they are going to have faced new passengers, new people. We would be in the cockpit and we would decide not to come out or not allow anyone to come in. So that is a different case for a pilot. He's more sterile than these young boys and girls who are there, and that is across the world. But as you said about the distress in the airlines, if you look at the list of the airways, Thai has reported bankruptcy, South African has reported bankruptcy, Air Mauritius has gone into administration, Finnair has returned planes, Emirates has returned planes, 380 operations cancelled. This is a sector, and I'm sure the Indian people, the Indian government, Ajay, and all those people who are running these beautiful airlines in this country, Air India has done a stupendous job, wonderfully doing. We have to see aviation becomes robust. All the captains, there are so many captains across the world who have lost their jobs, they have been retrenched, and there is a distress. But aviation is just not aviation, Rahul, and you have been talking about it, a lot of it. It will open the gate for tourism, and we need to depend on domestic tourism. It will trigger off because in an employment sector, out of 10, 2 people are in the tourism or the or aviation sector. So let's get rid of the fear programming. The doctors have to encourage people to travel because the risk, and the airlines know the risk. And if there are reported cases of infection, the risk is with the airlines, and they have already suffered a lot of damage. So they will work overtime to see that it is a secure place, a safe place to fly.
The sense I get is whether or not Mr. Rudy's daughter watches him lock horns with somebody from the Congress, this is a conversation that there'd be far more interest in. Dr. Bagai, we are hearing from those from the aviation sector very naturally there are commercial imperatives, there are survival imperatives to want to get the airlines back up and running. But from a medical perspective, do you recommend this? Lots of people are working from home. So whether they're working from home in Europe, whether they're working from home in Goa, Kerala or Delhi, Mumbai, doesn't really matter. Take off to your vacation home, stay there, work from home there. A lot of people would be toying with the idea. Is that a smart idea? Leave your home, go elsewhere. I see Ajay Singh still has a small smile on his face. Is that a good idea, or do you think that could create more trouble than we are in otherwise?
I think transformation and discipline is occurring in various phases in everyone's professional life. But I think if travel is necessary, I think it has to happen.
No, not necessary, Dr. Bagai. One second, sir. One second. I'm not on necessary travel. Those who need to travel because they've got family or there's a problem, they will go. Ajay Singh holds out a good temptation that take a holiday, go to your family home or some vacation home, stay there, park yourself there. You can't go to work in any case, so you may as well be next to a beach than be at home. Is that a good idea? Is that not a good idea in your view?
Yeah. If you take the necessary precautions which the government and the airlines are giving, it should be safe. The important point I want to make is that there will be, again, within the airline industry, like one of the panelists has mentioned, things like antimicrobial flooring, antimicrobial lining of the seats. There will be various transformations like it happened in medicine from the last 30 years. Also, keeping the mind that the most frequently used object in a hand is cell phones. How to disinfect that and keep that clean. So we'll have to go forward. We have to move forward. We've been in 60 days in lockdown. The Indian case fatality rate is not that high. I think the lockdown has served its purpose for preparedness. Lockdown was never to eradicate the virus. So it has served its purpose. We've got to restructure our lives and get back onto our feet and make sure India climbs up really high.
Salil Gupte, what's your sense of by when international flights will be normalized? At this moment, several countries are allowing those who are nationals or have some kind of domestic ID to be able to come back home, but not allowing citizens from other countries to come in. Like Indian aviation is restarting, when do you see people being able to take normal commercial flights to Europe, to the United States and elsewhere?
Well, from India, of course, we'll follow the lead of the regulator on that. But one of the points that we have been making to the regulator, to the minister, and even to other parts of the Indian government and other governments around the world as a manufacturer, is that we need alignment around protocols. Because, for example, if one country has a 14-day quarantine for arrival passengers, and another country does not have a 14-day quarantine or a 7-day quarantine or something like that, it's going to become very difficult to have any sort of international travel broadly, not just out of India to another destination, but between any destinations. So that collaboration between
who's supposed to do that?
Body,
who draws up an international collaborative framework?
Well, there's a number of authorities potentially. IATA, of course, is the airline body. But ICAO is the regulatory body which works under the auspices of the United Nations. And then, of course, there are many different governments that are reaching out to each other and working together one-on-one. So this is going to have to be done in a number of ways to get to some aligned positions, because that's going to be required for international travel to thrive. It will start to recover, and it will take a few years for it to get back to where it was in 2018, 2019. But in order for global trade to thrive, international travel needs to thrive. And that's why that alignment is important.
Okay, so we've been able to touch upon some very important factors here.
I think what we've established is that if you need to travel because it's necessary, then you absolutely must. Yeah, and the doctor said that if you can maintain all precautions and you're thinking about taking a long holiday in one destination, that's not such a bad idea either. That would kickstart aviation and also potentially the hospitality sector, but the need to remain very, very safe is very important. I want to thank Rajiv Rudy for joining us in his avatar this time as a pilot, aviation minister in the past, Dr. Sanjeev Bagai, chairperson of Nephron Clinic, Salil Gupte, president of Boeing India, and Ajay Singh. You've laid out the bait. We'll find out how many people fell for it. The airlines are welcoming passengers, opening their doors. Let's see how many people want to board the flight. Thank you for tuning in to the news.
Thank you, Rahul.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.